People hear about folks stealing cars, shooting, selling dope, selling crack. That ain't the life. That ain't the life I want to live. And I'm pretty sure somebody else, that's the life that they don't want to live. I think that people think that that's cool because they hear it from their favorite rapper or from their favorite person or something, and they just or it's what type of people they grew up around and that's all they know.
Growing up with the wrong thing, being around negative opinions at an early age. Daddy's doing drugs, mama's sniffing. I mean, what's wrong with that at an early age? So they feel that when they get older, oh, I'm gonna be like my mama, I'm gonna be like my daddy. They out here moving everything at a constant pace. Why don't I be like them?
Black men choose the wrong path because they get influenced easy, and they don't think about the decisions that they make. They don't they don't think forward. They think like, well, it's cool, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it. So they end up dropping out, doing something that they regret doing later on.
Young black man choose the street over school is because that's what they've been raised up. That's how they've been raised. If you've been living in the streets, that's how you gonna come out. You're gonna come out the street. Like they always say, you live by the gun, you die by a gun. Whatever you live by, that's how you gonna die by. So if you were raised in the streets, you just die by the streets. People like the street because that's your home. You cool with it. You know everybody know you. You know the game. You know how to spit the game. You know how to do all that. That's why. It ain't nobody telling them what to do when you're out on the street. It's you. It's just you yourself.
Well, I think a lot of young black men end up dead or in prison because they really just don't care about nothing. They think it's all about them. Robbing people, shooting people, doing this, you in gangs and all that. I just think it's just a choice that they made or that they wanted to happen for them. And, I think it's unacceptable.
How many of y'all know what you want your life to look like when you're 75 years old?
Man, I kind of know where you want to be at, but you know what I'm saying.
Like if you close your eyes right now, could you visualize and just explain to somebody what you just picture or want it to look like?
What was the question? 75?
Yeah, when you're 75 years old, what you want your life to look like?
I can tell you 5.
No, 75. And when it's all over and done with. Now, you see that, right? That's a hard question for y'all, right?
Yeah.
Now, let me ask y'all on the inside. How many of y'all know what you want your life to look like at 75? You daydream about it just about every day, right? Right? Do you see the difference? That's what makes the difference. You gotta have a vision so bright in your head that you're telling yourself, I'm not gonna risk 75, what I want my 75 to look like for something quick right here, right now. That's why we keep sending ourselves back to jail. That's why we keep making these mistakes, because we don't have anything that we are seriously looking forward to. We looking forward to the club this weekend. We looking forward to whoever we trying to get at. We looking forward to whatever next thing we trying to buy, but we don't know what we want our end picture to look like. If they know what their end picture looks like, it's going to be real hard to take them completely off course. I went to jail at least 65, 75 times, right? But to me, I didn't think I was going to live to see past 25 years old because most of my buddies didn't, right? So how can you threaten me with something I don't even really think I got? You get what I'm saying? And then once I read that book and I saw another man, guess what my first book was, y'all? Memoirs of a Father, President Obama. I'm originally from Chicago. Y'all know President Obama out of Chicago. So, Southside. My family's from Bernie Green over in that area. So you get what I'm saying? Like, that's where I come from, right? So, now he wasn't even president yet. This is 2007. But when I saw that somebody from somewhere I knew had done this much, and not saying he's from Chicago, but he's still out of Chicago, right? When I saw that it's a big picture that I can have more out of life, I was like, oh man, ain't no way in hell I'm finna throw this away. But it was the first time I ever dreamed. It was the first time I ever took a sheet of paper and a notebook and I wrote down what I wanted my life to look like. When I first started praying in jail, I used to pray to God, let me get a bond, let me this, let me get that, right? By the time I started my big picture thinking, I used to pray, God, don't let me get out of jail till I finish this picture. Don't let me get out of jail till I remember what it is I want. Because I knew me. I was just as addicted to selling drugs as the people were to using them, right?
I'm finna tell a story about my uncle. he died and whatever. Like, he had a big part of my life. I know he gone, but on the inside, he still here. Like, he was a big time drug dealer, but like my friend asked me, was he my role model? Yeah, he my role model, even though he sold drugs. He was telling me to do the right thing, like stay down with school, stick to playing sport, go to college, do what you want to do, don't follow my footsteps. But it hurted me on the inside that he couldn't be at my banquet because it was the day he died.
My name is Marquis Stewart, principal here at Harper Arts Middle School in Atlanta Public Schools. One of the things that I see, that our young men face on a daily basis is just not having a true role model in their life. And that we talk about our children a lot about some of the things that they're not doing, but when we talk about success, and a lot of our kids success to us doesn't look like success to them. And so we have to spend a lot of time bringing in different mentors, different people who have kind of walked in their shoes as a child, but have gone on in life and to do some positive things, to be able to show them, what success is, what longevity of life looks like. And so as an adult, I grew up a part of a gang. I got in the gang in the 7th grade. And in the 10th grade, I saw a good friend of mine was murdered right in front of me. And so that was kind of a turning point for my life. I had to learn the hard way, but eventually I got myself together. I was able to get to this point. And so as a principal, when I first met my kids 3 years ago, I shared my life story with them. And so some of those kids I connected with, and there was others I didn't make a connection with. However, but our children here in this zip code, talk about in Atlanta, Northwest Atlanta, highest crime rate, teenage pregnancy, you name it, statistics are here. And our children, especially our young boys, it's sad, just within the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've had 6 young men that have been arrested. And they get arrested, they come back to school, they're on probation, they're walking around with ankle monitors on. And to them, that's a badge of courage. They won't even want to see that. I know when I was growing up, someone was on probation, you want to cover that up. You don't want anybody to see those things. But our children nowadays, they think that's okay, and it's not.
Growing up in other people's footsteps, you gotta, the person who you probably trying to follow their footsteps, they might got a big impact on your life, or you just look up to them because you don't have somebody else to look up to. Like, I got big brothers and big cousins and uncles who done sold dope and did all that. So I don't think it's good for me to just follow their footsteps when I could go turn the other way. But they made the choices that they made to do what they need to do. But he gone, so I can't do nothing about it.
One of the things I definitely want to discuss right now is the Making the Transition program. Educators, we go to school to learn how to teach, and we come up with that particular knowledge to be able to educate children, but most of us are not trained to deal with children when it comes to social-emotional learning and social-emotional wellness. Making the Transition is a program that I definitely believe is definitely needed in our schools, because our children come from so many areas that, many of our teachers have never seen that side of life. How we're bringing this program on board in many schools, it would really help to expand, our children's mindset, because they're coming in and dealing with the social-emotional learning issues and deficits that our kids have.
I became a convicted felon at the age of 16 years old. How many of y'all are 16 or older in here now? When I became a convicted felon, my whole entire life changed. My entire life changed. Once you become a convicted felon, it's so many things you can't do. How many people in your family are convicted felons? How many people have a brother or a father or a cousin? And how difficult do you see life for them? Seriously. How many of them have a stable job? The people who you're thinking about right now, how many of them have a job where they've held that job for over a year? How hard was it for them to find that job? Did y'all watch their struggle?
Yeah.
What'd you say, sir? He struggled to do it? That's all I've known my entire life. From the age of 16, you're still a child, right?
Yes.
So I became an adult as a convicted felon. when you're a convicted felon, not only is it hard to find jobs, it's certain communities you can't move to. I have a degree in psychology and in accounting. I'd never be able to work in either of those fields. I went to school and paid to get a degree just because I wanted to better myself, knowing that I can never get licensed nor have a job in either field, because once you become a convicted felon, you can't get a professional license. That sounds crazy, right? Now how about this? I had to buy my house and put it in somebody else's name, because for years the police used to kick in my door just to check and see what I was doing. I was at home sleep once, and I wake up to people in my bedroom, and I got an attitude with them, so they locked me up. I didn't break a law, I didn't commit a crime, a new crime, but because I'm a convicted felon, they can come in my house at any time. So I put my house, my cars, everything in other people's name because I'm scared to stay in a house that's in my own name. Can you imagine living your life like that? And that's from mistakes that I made when I was 16 years old. Making the Transition is a non-profit organization that I started here in Atlanta, Georgia around 7 years ago. The reason why I did this is because I'm a product of the streets myself. I sold drugs at a very young age. I made all kind of mistakes. I did years in jail. I've done things I'll never be able to undo, and I've lost time that I will never get back. So I decided that I didn't want to watch more children make the same mistakes because they didn't have guidance, they didn't have exposure, they didn't have the proper planning, and they didn't have anybody who showed them that they could be more, do more, accomplish more, and live better. So I founded a nonprofit organization that was built on all of those principles.
How did you like when you guys while you was in jail, what you was thinking?
What did I think?
Yeah.
Okay, I did almost 5 years in jail, right?
Yeah.
It's a 23-hour lockdown for 5 years of your life, where you sit in a little bitty room for 5 years. I did time in jail where I was the only black person in jail, where I got to fight with 30 white men every morning, right? When I was one of the youngest people in the jail, I watched other young folks get raped, get killed in showers, all that. So what I was thinking when I was in jail was, what would I do when I got an opportunity to get my life back? I used to sit down with notepad and just write out my thoughts, write out my dreams. But I was writing out the life I wanted to live. So when I got back on this side, everything I thought about, I went out and I tried at it. I didn't do everything I thought about, but I tried at it. And I found myself in the middle of it. A lot of times you ain't gonna find yourself until you start living life. The more you live, the more you see what's possible, what you can do. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like when you said, I just want to be great. I just want to succeed. I want to accomplish something. That's what y'all said over here, right? You got to get out here and see what life got to offer you. And as you see what life can give you, you're going to see where you fit in at. Does that make sense? Yes. So you got to figure out in your mind what is success. And you got to take a lot of time to think about that. Then go out here and see what can give that to you. Because I'm telling you, you make the wrong mistakes and all you're going to do is have time on your hands. 23-hour lockdown, when I tell you one day feel like 1 month, so you can throw away your life and somebody else will use your talent, or you can find out how to use your own talent, but at the end of the day, somebody gonna use your talent and it should be you. Question, how many people in here have somebody in your family that's been to prison, been to jail, or is currently in jail? That's everybody in here, right? How many people in here want somebody to be able to say that about you? So none of us want to go to jail, right? No. So what do y'all plan on doing so that that's not you? What do y'all plan on doing to be the person who is the example instead of the statistic?
First, going to college. I want to own my own gym.
You want to own your own gym? Yeah. It's terrific. What about?
Well, I want to change the stereotype. If you see what I'm saying, like I want to change the game. I don't want to be seen as like that. So like as a drug dealer or like. You feel me? So I'm gonna apply myself to limit, like to where people don't think I can apply myself at. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. So basically, like you want to redefine how people see you. Basically. Like if somebody put a limit on your life, then you want to show them what their limit. I heard a saying. Somebody said, "If the sky's the limit, be the sky."
No, you gotta shoot for the stars.
You get what I'm saying? So that's what you're saying. Like you want to be the sky.
Yeah.
Show them what your limit is instead of somebody telling you.
And I want to keep going.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
What I do is like I'll start young, cause the younger we start, it's gonna give us a higher possibility of being successful in life. So like starting in middle school, elementary school, you know, doing good in school. So when I get in middle school, I'm gonna do good in middle school. And when I get in high school, I can prepare myself to get ready for college. And then, you know, do things that the typical person won't do. And then bring somebody along with me. Like my brother here, if I'm starting a business, hey, you wanna partner with me, you wanna learn, you ain't gotta do stuff. Just come with me. You know?
I believe that's one of the biggest keys to success, surrounding yourself around people who are going to keep you motivated, right? Because no matter who you are, how positive you are, you're going to hit a hardship. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to go through something that's going to slow you down. But like he said, if you going hard and he going hard, when you slow down or when you having a hard day, he can pull you up. So yeah, that's so important, man. Like who you surround yourself around. I remember when I first started selling drugs, right? I think I was like 12 years old, and I'm walking down the street, and some junkies run up and buy some crack from one of my buddies. We walk into the store, and he stop and make maybe $150 while we walk into the store, right? I don't have $150. I'm looking at him while we're walking to the store. He made $150. That influence made me see if I don't want to be broke, I need to do what he doing. Now let's say this is my homeboy, and he get an internship and a part-time job. Same as that thing. I watch him and I notice he not broke and I see what he doing. Maybe that would have been the influence and that would have been what I tried to do, right? Exactly. But since I decided to hang with people who were doing wrong things, it became normalized to me. Next thing I know, one of my buddies is breaking in houses, but he got new shoes and he fresh every time I see him. And then one day he asked me to go into a house with him. But because I hung around this kind of person, it became easier for me to make that kind of decision. So who you let yourself be around gonna have so much to do with your life. They say you are, yeah, if you look at your 5 best friends, you a mixture of your 5 closest friends.
Growing up, I just have this little favorite cousin, I mean, went around the same age, went to the same school. But we just went our separate ways. I stayed in school and he started hanging with the wrong crowd. So one day, when him and some of his friends, you know, they went out to like a different county or whatever. You know, they pulled somebody out their car, and you know, they had guns and stuff on them, so they pulled the person out their car, and they drove off. And next thing you know, they get on a high-speed chase, and so they on a high-speed chase or whatever, and my cousin, they flipped the car over. And you know, that's how they got caught, and they caught my cousin with guns, and they gave him 15 years, do 5, and he only 16.
You all know how hard you fought to get right here, right? Why would you let anybody take you from this spot? Anybody who's telling you, let's go out tonight, instead of telling you, hey, go home, man, you got something to do. That person is not in your life for your best interest. They not trying to see you live your full potential. And the thing is how many people do y'all know honestly that are living to their full potential? So how can somebody push you to do something for you that they don't know how to do for themselves, right? So it's not their fault. You just need to be the example. Because they're not sitting in this room. They're not even here where you at right now, right? Okay, now, growing up in a poor community, knowing what that was like for me, what kind of man would I be if I raised my kids going through that same deal? What kind of man would I be? Exactly. So why would I let anybody do anything to keep me in a position to where my family and my kids gotta go through that? Why would I do that? Stupidity. Pure stupidity, right? Stupidity, sorriness. Now, like I was saying, when you being your own worst enemy or your own biggest hurdle, I believe that's true. I believe that if you can challenge yourself and overcome your own worries, doubts, personal comforts, senses of entitlement, insecurity, whatever it is, if you can challenge yourself to jump over those hurdles, it don't matter how many people are against you, they won't be able to stop you. Because you're going to always have people against you. But that's a part of the challenge that makes it more exciting. Like the reason why we have metal detectors in our school, and you go to these schools where they have school shootings and they don't even have metal detectors, somebody sat down and said, no, we don't want them kids to go through that every day, but we want those ones too, right? Somebody decided that our communities should be so poor and so violent. the Bankhead Highway. Y'all know it used to be a bridge on Bankhead Highway that went directly into downtown. So I mean that means that that community should have been a thriving community because they had access to downtown, right? Somebody said, "No, let's stop that. Let's close this bridge. Let's ostracize these people. Let's put these people in a resource desert." You guys know what a resource desert means? Okay, name how many banks on Bankhead Highway. Okay. Yeah, you got ATM. Now name how many sit-down restaurants. 9 sit-down restaurants you have on Bankhead Highway. Okay. Y'all trying to see what a resource desert is? Okay. Exactly. Now, it's nothing to motivate you to want more out of life, right? Now, do you think that was done by mistake, or do you think somebody sat down in a room and said, "No, let's put that on high meal"? Exactly. So that means that's a hurdle we got to jump already, because somebody who already is in a position of power, because if we have access to good things, we might become good people, right? Somebody decided to give loans to liquor stores and to pawn shops so that they can open up in the communities, right? But somebody decided that the woman who can cook, that could have had a nice sit-down diner, now we're not going to put her over there, right? Somebody decided that if we give them a bank, then that means they won't have to carry cash money on them, which means that now the robberies will go down because now people won't have to cash their check and have their money in their pockets, right? Somebody decided, no, that community don't need that. So my point is you're going to have adversaries from the day you're born to the day you die. Well, what does that have to do with you? What does somebody else's challenges for you have to do with your challenges for yourself? Nothing, right? All it should do is be able to make you say, I got more inspiration to push harder because I know where I came from and I know what's against me, right?
Since coming here to Harper Arts 3 years ago, had a young man just last school year. He was here my first year as an 8th grader. I think he had gone on to maybe the 10th grade, but was in a shootout. The Wendy's around the corner, and he was actually murdered. And so that's something that our kids deal with on a daily basis: murders, homicides. I mean, it's sad. I mean, it's almost at some point I sit here and listen to parents that I come in and talk to. But some of the things that our children are dealing with it's unreal. And me as an administrator, I love instruction, but at the end of the day, it's about educating the whole child. And sometimes we get away, we have test scores, and test scores reflect one thing, but when you look at the reality of the lifestyle that our children are dealing with on a daily basis, a test score doesn't tell you, that I'm hungry at night, or I go home, I'm being bullied, I'm in the gang, I'm stealing cars, I'm robbing. And so we have to kind of pull the layers back with our children to find out really what's going on. Once we get to the root of the problem, then, trying to find the resources to support them. Because a lot of times at the school level, we don't have the resources. And it's important that we're going to save these children. We got to be able to put the resources there. So if I'm standing atop the tallest building in the city of Atlanta, and if I fall, somebody has to be able to catch me. So in the school, when our children are constantly falling on a daily basis, whether it's academics, behavior, or just life in general, we got to have something there to be able to catch them. Because if we don't, then at the end of the day, we're continuing the same cycle, the school to prison pipeline. And we already know who's a part of that, who dominates that, and that's African American males.
My name is Deshaun Conyers, and this program, it means a lot to me because, when I was little, I was one of those kids who were, influenced by his surroundings, every day in and day out. I was accustomed to the same thing. One day I went to school and I was just stuck in the counselor office one day, and they were just like, "You have an interview with Keith Strickland." Like, Keith Strickland? Okay, yeah, okay, I'm down to meet him. And I met him, and we had an awesome interview, and it was like something I never experienced with this guy, because he was like, everything that he was telling me, it was just like direct, and I felt it. And as I started to grow up, I started to meet him. I moved to Mays, met him there, kind of disconnected, but then we caught connect. And one night I got a call and my brother passed. So after then, everything was just like an outblock to me. I couldn't bear it. So I needed a way out. So I called Strickland. He gave me some pointers. So now I know that everything I do for myself, I have to do it for my brother. I have to do it for a child who don't have, or have been through the same thing I went through, had lost a brother, had lost a mom, had lost a dad, had lost a sister. And I just feel like if I can connect with them, then that would be the most greatest thing I can do for my brother.
How many people are satisfied with the life you have right now? How many people want more? How many people truthfully want to raise your family in a community that's better than this one? So that means every last one of us need more out of life, right? You gotta go get it. I mean that, y'all. You gotta go get it. You can't wait for somebody to give it to you. You can't wait for somebody to tell you what you can have. You gotta go and get what you want out of life. You see all these charges? Every last charge you see on here has something about money related to it, right? Because I was that desperate to make it. I went in the wrong direction. But if you notice, I never stopped trying. Even though everything I was doing was wrong, it was all I knew. So I pushed myself and pushed myself and pushed myself, right? If you can do the wrong thing that passionately, which a lot of us do, how in the world you gonna put more energy into doing wrong than you doing right? Hey, y'all ever thought about that? When you doing something wrong, I went to Lennox Mall yesterday and I watched a young man steal something out of the jewelry store, break and run, jump over the stairs, broke, and tried to go in the parking lot and still got locked up. Imagine if he was that passionate about going to school. For real, just imagine if somebody was like, we got a college fair, and he jumped over some steps, took off and ran. What would he be at right now? He stole a $25,000 watch. You know how much time he don't do for that $25,000 watch? Literally, he might need 25 years for a $25,000 watch, right? Name any job that you can't make $25,000 in 25 years. You get my point? But we'll put that much energy into doing the wrong thing and barely try to do the right thing. Have y'all ever seen somebody? How many of y'all know somebody that hustles right now? Have y'all ever seen somebody push as hard in school as whoever that is you know they hustle? One person. Name one person you know that's going that hard in school. I mean, seriously. What is it in our mentality that makes us feel like doing wrong is so much more important than doing right?
Y'all talk to us about how you can get out the hood, how easy it is if you just stay focused. It meant a lot. It just made my dream and just made it seem so even more real. Like if someone can do it from your same area, then you can do it. Just gotta work hard and stay focused.
You had the opportunity to tell somebody, this is what I need. I'm growing up in a community that's around crime. I see people don't understand what it's like when you gotta walk past a house where they sell drugs at just to get to school. When you see that every day, when you go by the same neighborhood and you see the same stuff day in and day out, what would you tell somebody you need? If you want me to be successful, this is what I need out of you.
If you want me to be successful, who am I addressing it to?
Any person with resources. If it could be somebody that owns a business, if it could be somebody who could be your mentor, if it could be somebody who can help you get into a school.
If you want to see me successful, all I need for you to do is just give me a chance, despite my skin color. That's it. Cause sometimes I feel like the skin color might be a disadvantage that we have, but all we need is a chance. And and I promise, I guarantee you, if you just give most of these African Americans a chance, they could be better than your employer of the month, guaranteed.
I think, the world is after us because of our color. We black, we black males, black males do this, do that, but what they don't see is how we operate. They don't know us, they just assuming stuff because of our color. They're not actually taking the time out to sit down and talk with us and think about what we think about what's going on with our race and our community. They just think that we just crazy and retarded because we black, and I don't appreciate that because you won't want nobody to judge you of your color, saying you retarded or you stuck up, you this, you that. I mean, I think it's disrespectful because even though we black and they might be a different color, everybody in the world has a different circumstance that they need to face. So I think that, it's just not right trying to judge somebody because of their color, because everybody's equal. That's how I see it. Everybody's equal. So I don't think it's cool, like, judging a black boy or a black girl, oh, she a prostitute, she this, she that, oh, he broke, he dumb, he don't got no education. Like, that ain't necessary, because you don't want nobody doing the same thing to you.
There's 11 people in here. The government would say that 9 of us probably would make it. About 6 years ago, we probably would have believed it. But now, I feel like with our generation now, that the environment that we live around, we know that we can't believe it. We gotta find a way to get out there. Junior, if somebody told you, about 6 years ago, that you weren't gonna make it in life, what's your thought? You probably believe. But now, what's your thought?
Yeah, I probably believe, but now I ain't believe.
I ain't gonna believe.
That's why I said y'all are doing y'all job. Y'all are doing y'all part. It's us. Cause I'm sitting here listening to y'all. Y'all so much further than I was when I was in y'all position. For one, I never been in y'all position. I never made it to be a senior in high school. My highest level of education was 9th grade. So just the fact that y'all pushed this hard to get here, y'all already done took control of your life. You already defined what your future is gonna look like. Now y'all just need y'all community to come together with you.
Most people that I see, they probably didn't even graduate from high school, and like they sell dope and all that. So I just want to prove them that everybody else don't have to do that.
In other words, your location doesn't determine your destination. If he can do it, then I can do it. If I can do it, he can do it. It don't matter where you came from, the hood or not. I mean, if you can succeed in life, take your chance.
Hey, my name is Tyree Mathis. Today I'd like to talk to you about my experiences with Keith Strickland. I first met Keith in 9th grade at Best Academy. Quite say I was a troubled child. I didn't listen to anything. I was just like, I'm gonna do what I want to do. When I first met Keith, it was in this program full of kids that weren't really disciplined right. We were on track, the most say, but Keith was there to keep us better on track because the experience that he went through in his life. Keith had these mug shots on the table. There were 4 different mug shots, all the things he done in his life. He was talking, I said, well, he went to jail. I'm not going to jail. I don't care. I seen all that, but Keith told me, he said, you're gonna end up in jail, just like me, if you don't listen. I still didn't care. I had a didn't care attitude. It took for a while long for me to actually to keep going to the programs over and over to actually see what this man had to say. People don't listen, that's the thing, but it actually takes some real motivation for me to actually listen for this man to mold my life and actually change the better person that I am. I stopped running the streets so much. I was selling weed, but it wasn't me. He had to show me that that's not you, like who you think you are, and that's not really you. You think you want to be a gangster, you think you want to be a robber, oh, I'm a drug dealer, you're not, like no one is, no one ever is. You have to show me like, I got robbed of $500,000. Why can't it happen to you? I was saying in my own mind that that's fake. I thought everything he was telling me was fake, to be honest. Like, I didn't actually believe it. I thought that, didn't believe it. Keith had to show me a belief. He got my vocabulary better. He got my motivation, speaking skills better. He got everything better for me. All these people that I met through my whole life have been through Keith. Like, I would never met half of the people that I know today or talked to some of the people that I would talk if it wasn't for Keith Strickland.
I am so encouraged by the Making the Transitions program here at Best Academy. It's really providing our students with strength, stability, and I would say success. They're stable because they're now empowered with this sense of academic ownership. They feel like they have a pathway, a design, if you will, for their lives. The way that the program is structured, it's giving them the initiative, the impetus to move forward in a way that's just not logical, but it's sequential. And they see themselves in a way that they're possible, and nothing is impossible. It's more, I'm possible. In terms of stability, I believe that we're leveling hope. Sometimes kids can feel hopeless, and this program inspires such hope, such promise of a life, of a condition that's so much better than they're experiencing today. And finally, the end result of the program is success. It triangulates in a way that at the end, they feel like they've reached a goal, that they've become a better person. The social, emotional content where they go from really self-understanding, self-awareness to respecting themselves and making really good decisions around that, and then finally moving to building great relationships with the program facilitators as well as their peers. But then the very end, you can see this sense of social awareness and the fact that they believe that they are an integral part of our society and they must play a significant role. So I am so encouraged by the program. I'm so encouraged by all of the positive things that it brings, and I hope that it continues, and I look forward to an expansive partnership through the years.